Championship going into the 9th round at Kyalami. History was also made at Kyalami with BM. A 20-minute time practice session replaced the old Indy-style qualifying with one car on the circuit at a time. The format drew mixed reactions from some of the top drivers.
I definitely prefer the one session that we can use 2 sets of tyres. Indy-style qualifying put a lot of pressure on you to get the first lap right and the second lap. You know, if you messed up the corner, say, going into the straight, which is in effect part of your second lap, that's both laps gone. So with we got more chance now, with less pressure on us, chance to do better laps than just in Indy-style.
While the BMW drivers preferred the 20-minute session, PG Autocross Opel Astra flyer Grant McCleary was sorry to see the Indy-style format fall away.
Well, I've just regarded it as an Indy-style qualifying because, you know, the tyres rather get on the grid and get pretty high up the grid and save your tyres for tomorrow. So it's pointless just going out and going round and round. So I actually go out and I do exactly what we've done in the past with qualifying. I do 2 warm-ups, I do 2 flyers and I come in, you know. So to me, it's no difference. It's just exactly the same.
Well, whether or not the drivers and team managers favoured the 20-minute session or the Indy qualifying, the tension in the pits was just the same. In all the touring car pits, team officials and technicians could be found with their eyes glued to the timing monitors. There's a great deal of interest in qualifying in the performance of Farouk Danga. He's in the Speedy Car Sales Vauxhall Cavalier. This car is imported from the British Touring Car Championship and it was having its first Kyalami outing. The versatile BP Nissan Sentra driver Hannes Robler was hoping for a Kyalami repeat performance where he put the car on pole position.
Vir my maak dit nie saak nie, dit is vir my om dieselfde. Die Indy moet jy net soveel meer konsentreer. Jy kan nie so baie kanse vat op die Indy staan nie, want as jy daar so ons droog maak en jy weet dan start jy agter op die grid. Maar met die ander tipe van ding, as jy droog maak het soos ek gedoen het ek weer 'n kans gehad om in te kom, die bande skoon te maak en ek kon weer uitgaan in 'n redelike goeie tyd opsit.
Despite his substantial championship lead, Opel Racing factory driver Mike Briggs was under considerable pressure. The opposition have narrowed the gap on the Opel team and every race is now dogfight. Johnson Matthey BMW Envirocar Works driver Sean van der Linde is one of the up-and-coming young lions of South African racing. For much of the season, van der Linde has overshadowed teammate Dion Joubert. A few pre-qualifying problems for the BP Nissan squad. The Sentras are now ultra-quick and we're expected to be among the front runners in the race for pole position.
This time we were a bit more worried than usual because we had problems with the car earlier on, but the lads worked really hard and pulled out all the tricks. And I'm really surprised, but I'm very happy because we were using the same tyres combination as the Opels, and yet we managed to be on pole. I'm very happy about that.
So, a second pole position in a row for the BP Nissan Sentra team, with Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra sharing the front row. Second row of the grid saw Mike Briggs in the Opel Racing Astra alongside Dion Joubert in the Johnson Matthey BMW Envirocar. The fourth row sees Sean van der Linde in the second factory BMW, and alongside him, very good performance for Farouk Danga in the Speedy Car Sales Vauxhall Cavalier. Hannes Robler disappointed with his 7th place in the BP Nissan Sentra, with Serge Damsou 8th in the new Minolta Toyota Camry. Privateer Anthony Taylor 9th on the grid, with the first 9 cars all lapping under the existing lap record. The Drivers' Parade provides the drivers with a welcome break from the nitty-gritty of motor racing, also gives the crowd a chance to see the drivers minus their racing helmets. Kyalami meeting drew a crowd of 26,000 and they've all got their favourites. The dummy starting grid is a colourful affair. Ahead of the drivers lies 12 laps of this undulating and very demanding 4.26 kilometre AA Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. It's on the warm-up lap that the adrenaline starts to pump where the drivers are concerned. They use the warm-up lap to bring their tyres as close to operating temperature as possible. Standard touring cars all run on slick racing tyres, and weaving violently from side to side like this helps build up tyre temperatures. The drivers also use the warm-up lap to check the circuit for potential danger points or for oil and other substances on the surface of the track. There was a buzz of expectancy in the huge crowd as the cars came around to complete their warm-up lap. With the biggest field of Stanic touring cars ever assembled at Kyalami, the scene was set for some tremendous motor racing. There's a huge amount at stake for the manufacturers and drivers, and the old adage that what wins on the track on Saturday sells in the showroom on Monday is in the back of the manufacturer's mind. For the drivers, there's also personal glory, and when the lights turn to green, it's every man for himself. Let's join race commentator Basil Kutza.
The Stanic touring cars, 9th round of the South African Challenge about to take place. On the pole position, we've got the Nissan of Nick de Waal. Next to him, we've got Grant McCleary in the Opel Astra. Only 300th of a second between them in time practice. Then we've got Michael Briggs, Dion Joubert, Sean van der Linde, Farouk Tangor, and waiting for the lights to go green. The green flag's out. And who's it going to be in first in the corner, McCleary or de Waal? This is where it's all going to happen. And away they go, and it looks like it's de Waal. De Waal's got a good start. McCleary, and here comes Sean van der Linde. He's come through the middle. Sean van der Linde's come right through the middle, and he's up next to Michael Briggs. He's ahead of Dion Joubert already. A great start there from Sean van der Linde, but it's Nick de Waal and Grant McCleary. Michael Briggs fighting back on the inside as they go through total curve. And here comes Sean van der Linde. He's going to the inside of McCleary, but it's Nick de Waal. A great start, and what a great start there from van der Linde. Who comes McCleary's dropped out from second place to fourth already. And this is where it's all going to happen. They've got to be very careful through the first lap because it's tight racing. They don't want to make any contact with each other. It's got to be careful stuff and make sure they get through. They want to finish the race. It's 12 laps of great racing here from the Stanic touring cars. There's Marco dos Santos. There, next to him we got young Anthony Taylor, the two newcomers in the BMWs as they come up now into Goodyear. You see Marco dos Santos getting it all sideways. Looked like he was maybe touched slightly from behind, but still Nick de Waal leading there from Sean van der Linde. Grant McCleary getting his act together once again, followed very closely by Dion Joubert, but don't worry, it's 12 laps to go. McCleary will get it all together and he'll fight back. The gap extending on it between him and the third place man Michael Briggs, but de Waal first into Westbank, and Sean van der Linde won both the events here at the last meeting and going exceptionally well up into second place. A great start from this young man. They come heading down the Caltex mine shaft into Aveline, and then it'll be into A Bowl. They flat out right on the edge as you see them. You can see those cars getting very light indeed. Hard on the brakes. Michael Briggs fighting very hard to get to terms with van der Linde. He doesn't want to let Nick de Waal go. He doesn't want to let any sort of gap form as they come through a sweep for the first time. You can see them streaming through. There's McCleary. And that's Marco dos Santos going off. He was touched on the inside there by Farouk Tangor. Dangor's back on the Santos in the kitty sand. That was a dangerous move there, and it certainly he's up into the tyre wall.
Let's have another look at that incident from the race cam in the Vauxhall Cavalier. The AA Street is not the place where you want to try a manoeuvre like that, and the Santos won't be happy with that at all. As they come down to Goodyear corner for the second time, it's de Waal. Now the pressure's on him. Briggs has moved into a passing position. The pressure's on him. Now this race has settled on. It almost seemed too careful on that opening lap. Nobody wanted to touch anybody else. They've had too many ops. Too many in the field have gone missing on the fast lap in the last few races, and they wanted to survive the last race. Now they're getting down to the serious business. They've got a 12 lapper ahead of them. We've done 1.5 laps. It's de Waal, it's Briggs getting sideways on there. They're all running on the Dunlop tires. These ones in the front, they're narrow slicks. That's what makes them tricky to drive. It's de Waal, Briggs. Then it is Sean van der Linde, Grant McCleary in that PG Autoclass Opel Astra. Then it is Dion Joubert behind him, and Hannes Grobler just behind him. These are A-class cars, and we're looking there for the Toyota. It's a little further back in the field. So we've got 3 different makes in the first 3 in this pack. Just coming down the road, there's Anthony Taylor. Then it's Farouk Danga. Here they're coming together. There's the Minolta Toyota of Serge Damsey. He's having his second drive in this car. He's drove it down in Cape Town, had a good start to the season. Jesse Huggett brings up the rear. Locking his wheels there. He's on the Yokohama tyres. Oh, the Camry's going into the pits. That's a pity. Shown very well in practice. It was right up into, it was 8th in practice and going some very respectable time. Right, here's the pressure. Briggs is having a look-see. Well, just got to look in his mirror. Briggs is having a serious look-see. Then it is Sean van der Linde. Then it's Grant McCleary. Then Dion Joubert and Hannes Grobler. That's the leading pack. The second mob coming along is Anthony Taylor leading Farouk Dangle, but quite a long way. Briggs is looking to get in for the kill there, going through this Goodyear sweep. He's positioned himself. himself, and Duval is starting to drive defensively. That normally slows it all up. They wait for a slip. They start to sell each other dummies, and suddenly he's through. This is a defensive piece of driving there by Duval. Now they start to close. And we've got another off here. Is that Farouk Danga? Just look through the dust. Here's the replay from Farouk's race cam. It looks like he's got steering problems. As he approaches the Goodyear sweep, the car just goes straight on. And the incident with market dissenters, the AA sweep, could well have had something to do with this problem. Order stays the same. We've done 5 laps. There's 12 laps in all to do. And we're waiting for some action as these drivers start to put their bonnets in front of the other man and start to change the position in this order.
Roger, you'll see there's very little difference in terms of power and speed of these cars. You see McCleary got a good exit out of the air, Rothman's S's. You can see him coming up next to Sean van der Linde, but van der Linde's got the inside line, which is a good line, the better line of the two, and good driving there from van der Linde. But here comes Joubert. He tried on the inside of McCleary, and here comes McCleary. He's got the line. He's certainly coming down on the inside, and they flat 9 6 gear, 8,500 RPM as they come around. But van der Linde's holding on. He's got the better line for AA Bowl. Can he get in on the braking? Sticks his nose in. Good racing there. Tremendous driving from all three. You can see these cars are so evenly matched in terms of power and speed. But McCleary's through. McCleary's got through. He got through as he exited. He obviously had a better run out. He set the car up a lot better, and he came out. And this is what it's all about. The cars are so even. They've got here it comes into driving and handling, and they've got to set the cars up well. They've got to get their line sorted out. One little mistake, not even a mistake. The fellow behind you is just that little bit cleverer. He sorts you out. He works out where you're quick, where you're not quick, and you see there's a change. It looks like Joubert is now looking at van der Linde, and Hannes Strobel is always there. Hannes Strobel is waiting for his chance to maybe come through.
The order at the halfway mark. Nick Duval, no change there. Michael Briggs, Graham McCleary's moved up into third. Sean van der Linde, you can see them there with Dion Joubert's teammate on his tail. Then it's Hannes Strobel. That's the leading 6. Taylor's 7th. Huggett is leading Capella in Class B.
Yes, and you see Grant McCleary now. He's setting sail. He's after his teammate in front. That Michael Briggs is in second place. McCleary, great manoeuvre there. And you could see he just waited for his chance. This is his home circuit. He's very quick on the circuit. Here comes Joubert for the inside line. Can he get his teammate? Great. Yes. Yes, he certainly got through. That was good driving. He squeezed open the door. But here comes Hannes. And Hannes has seen the opportunity. He's now going to look the inside. And he's also got van der Linde. He also got van der Linde, and this is what I mean. You've got to watch it all the time. As you're watching the fella trying to pass you, the guy behind you again, behind him, is also trying to make a move. And this is how close it is. It's really just down to tactics, handling, and how you're setting the car up. Hard on the brakes, back into second gear as they come on the shelf out of West Bank. Dion Joubert driving very defensively. Now there's Hannes, made a bit of a mistake, went out wide, and it's allowed van der Linde to get back on the inside.
Well, that's Hannes just practicing for next week's Castrol Rally. He won the Castrol Rally down in Swaziland, and there was a bit of rally driving going on there by Hannes, a brave driver if ever there was one. But so the orders changed again. Van der Linde, I think, and coming into the picture, Taylor's arrived to join the pack. Here's a turn up for the books. Taylor has arrived amongst those others. They seem to be racing amongst themselves, and Taylor's joined the party. Here he comes, this youngster with a great amount of talent. He's onto Hannes' tail. Now Hannes has got other sort of problem. As Nick Duval goes through, he's 0.5 of a second ahead. McCleary was 3.7. It's the same order, 3.9 seconds, so they're keeping station. And this is the battle of the race. At the moment, it's Joubert with van der Linde on his tail. McCleary chasing off the leading 2. Joubert, van der Linde. And I think it may be a case that van der Linde, driving very hard at the beginning of this race, perhaps overheated his tire. It might just be that, because those narrow slicks are not as wide as you normally find in big racing cars, and they certainly heat up. And it's mighty hot, despite the cooler weather of the winter weather here at Kyalami. It's mighty hot in those motor cars. Here's Hannes having another go with Taylor. He doesn't want to let him get past him, and Taylor's going to outside. Some more brave driving. Brave driving, got the better line for the brakes. Hannes hasn't got a chance of getting over to the other side. And the Stanek touring car racing has certainly come alive. No doubt about this. Racing going on all around the circuit. They're working out tactics, they're preserving tyres, and they are trying as hard as they can. There's Class B leader Jesse Huggett from Cape Town in his Volkswagen Jetta. Jesse's opened up a bit of a gap on Paolo Capella in the BM, but there isn't much in it as Capella chases the Jetta down the Gazette straight. After that incident with Danga, there's a frustrated Marco DeSantis sitting on the pit wall. And the Toyota pit, they're hard at work on the Mazda Camry. Let's hear from Serge Damzu and from Marco.
We've had a bit of our problems this week and up and downs, but
at the start we had a coming together with one of the BMWs, and looks like knocked the front suspension out. But I tried to carry on, but it's just understeer terribly, so we just rather just come in.
It started off very good. I had a brilliant start. I passed 4 guys. I was lying right behind the works BMW guys. It was going nicely. I could stay with them. As I went around Conti on the first lap, I was already around the corner, and Farouk Dango hit me blatantly, off completely. He spoiled my race and his race. There was no reason for it. He had no way of passing. I don't know what he did.
You see Nick de Waal being very defensive. He's forcing Michael Briggs off the racing line onto the rubber. That's been worn off the other tyres, but Michael Briggs is obviously knows where he can get past de Waal. He certainly would think so. I'm sure he's fancying his chances now. He's obviously sussed the ball out, and hopefully for himself he's sorted something out that he can pass Nick. Nick in the other is himself now obviously quite confident. He's on the in front. He's just got to be defensive. He can't make any mistakes. He can't go any wide. And there he did it again. He just held Briggs out, and Briggs is going to try and go down the inside of the mine shaft. Briggs is going to try and go to the inside of the mine shaft. Can he do it? They're coming down to have a lead. Has he left it too late? He's got to get him here. If he doesn't get him on the inside and the break in, that'll be the end for him. He's got one chance after this to get him. You see, here he comes in, and he pushes him, and through they go, and Briggs has gone off. Briggs has gone off, and as de Waal got going.
He got hit again by Briggs. He just hit him.
Yeah, they come, and it's de Waal. That's Briggs. Briggs has gone through. Okay, here comes McCleary. Here comes McCleary. It's Briggs and McCleary. And McCleary's going to get Briggs. McCleary comes through. Is it going to be McCleary? See smoke pouring out of the Nissan. It's going to be Grant McCleary. He comes through, and through comes Dion Joubert as well. Joubert comes through, and he's just tipped the nose of Nick de Waal as they come through. And here comes, who's it going to be? No, it's Michael Briggs. It looked to me as if maybe McCleary just backed off. Michael Briggs came through, won it. McCleary was second. Then it was Dion Joubert. But certainly some great racing there, Roger.
We've got controversy at Kyalami. Here's an action replay now of the Briggs de Waal coming together. Under braking for the Super Bowl, Briggs tries to put the nose of the Astra inside the Nissan, and the cars make contact. Let's hear from Nick de Waal and Mike Briggs.
Michael used me as his brake, and he just hit me from behind, and that was it.
On the last lap, I went for a gap, and obviously I was forced to brake down the inside where there was a lot of dirt, and I locked up. I mean, obviously Nick had no intention of letting me through, and I went for the gap, and I just locked it up, you know, at which point I couldn't turn. I ran straight into it. It was unfortunate, you know. I was giving it my best, and so was he. It's just a pity it ended up that way. You know, I really am sorry for Nick, but it's hard racing.
The clerk of the course, Graham Ewer, excluded Mike Briggs from the results of round 9, and the win went to Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra, ahead of Dion Joubert and Anthony Taylor. Anna Strobler came in 4th ahead of Sean van der Linde, with the unfortunate de Waal relegated to 6th position.
Stay with us for highlights of round 10 of the Stanek Satcar Series. Stanek are the proud sponsors of the Satcar Series. Stanek, your motor vehicle finance specialists. With us, you can go so much further. The battle resumes in round 10 of the Stanek Satcar Series.
Drama in the Stanek touring cars at Kyalami. Mike Briggs has been excluded from the results of round 9. He was also fined R1,000 by the stewards of the meeting. As usual, plenty of activity in the pits, the mechanics working feverishly to get their machines ready for round number 10.
Well, it's to get a good start. I didn't get such a good start in the first race. I was on the front row, but I've got to get to the first corner first. I think if I can get there, I can really go for it. The BMWs are very quick off the line, and I get caught behind them. Their tyres seem to go off a little bit more than mine, so they seem to hold me up a bit. But if I can get a good start, I'm on my way.
This is the start of the second heat of the Stanek Touring Cars race. In pole position, we've got Grant McCleary in the Astra. Next to him, it's Dion Joubert in the BMW. Excluded from the first race, right at the back of the grid, is Michael Briggs after the incident with Nick de Waal. They're waiting for the lights to go green. Late there after 2 seconds, away they go, and who's got a good start? It looks like Taylor's charging through. He's trying to go around the outside of McCleary. McCleary blocks him out. Great start there from Anthony Taylor. But through comes Dion Joubert. Dion Joubert on the outside there. Can he go through? Yes, he squeezes out Grant McCleary. And that's a great start there from Joubert. Ooh, and Van der Linde's out on the kiddie stand. He held on to that very well. And he's lost 2 positions. He's back to 4th from 2nd. But Dion Joubert in the BMW had a magnificent start. So did Anthony Taylor. And Grant McCleary now back to 2nd place in the PG Autoglass car after having been given the second race, finished in 2nd in the first heat. but with Briggs being excluded, he's now started in pole position. Through they come. You see Briggs already got past Anders Strobler. There's Marco de Sanderson, Lakefield BMW. Very good drive until he went off. Dion Jabeur. Taylor went very well in the first heat. He really put in a tremendous challenge towards the end and got past a lot of the more experienced drivers. And in only his second Stanek touring car race, doing very well indeed. There's the Camry of Serge Damso, and there's the Class B. It's Capello leading the Huggett, Jess Huggett from Cape Town in the Elisa, the Volkswagen Jetta. You see on the inside, trying to come through. It's Sean van Linde as he got Taylor. Taylor squeezing him out. Van Linde, they side by side down the Caltex mine shaft. That's going to be interesting. Who's going to get there first? Taylor's on the outside. He's got the bed line. Got just his nose just ahead. Can he hold on? And there comes it. Oh, that is really right on the limit. Taylor just held out Van der Linde. And here comes Nick de Waal. Nick de Waal trying to go around the outside of Van der Linde. Does a great job. Oh, and he just gets touched. There's Briggs. Briggs also getting into the fray. He getting going through on the inside. And really, it's tough racing out there. It's very close. And they're having a full go. But up front is still Dion Jabeur in the Enviro car, the BMW. And Grant McCleary once again settling down very nicely, just biding his time. He's going to have to face himself through. And you see Briggs has gone through into third place already. They pick them up as they come through. And that's the two Nissans. That's Nick de Waal and Anders Strobler having it coming together. But they held on to that. Nothing serious. But here's in... Pick them up, yes, it's Anthony Taylor in third, it's Michael Briggs up to fourth already, then Sean van der Linde, Anders Strobler, Nick de Waal and Serge Damso. And Serge, you see him in the Camry, the Minolta Camry, beautiful motor car, prepared and built by Dave Cook in England, and in second race only, not performing too well in the first heat. They had engine problems yesterday, changing the engine, but here comes our leader again, very well, is Dion Jabeur. It's up in the sixth gear, you can actually hear those sequential boxes going up through the gears. They just take their foot off the accelerator, they don't use the clutch. It's only when they're changing down that they use the clutch. See the Nissans come through, but Dion Jabeur certainly doing a great job. Had problems in the first heat with his tyres, back tyres, getting a lot of understeer. We saw the BMs start slowing down towards the end, and problems with the back tyres. Tyres were going off, and hopefully they're going to sort that out. They've sorted it out for this heat. See, through comes Sean van der Linde, there's Nick de Waal and the Strobler in that order. Nick de Waal obviously having led right up to the second last corner in the first heat, been spun out and coming, having to start at the back of the grid, at the back of the grid, but Michael Briggs working his way through already. Michael Briggs really going very quickly indeed as he comes out of West Bank. He's working his way through. He's after Anthony Taylor, but up front it's Dion Jabeur really doing a great job of work with Grant McCleary, the PG Autoglass Opel Astra going very nicely. Anthony Taylor looking superb, and then we've got Sean van Linde, the two Nissans and the Camry. What's happened to Marco de Santos? Try and pick it up in the Class B. It's Jess Huggett now, it's ahead of Capello. Jess Huggett ahead of Capello after one lap, and we'll see what's happening further back in the field. And still Dion Jabeur certainly holding on very nicely. We'll see it will start coming together. Cars will start bunching up later in the race as the tyres start wearing and different cars start performing differently. As we see once again, through they go. Still, it's Michael Briggs now closing right up on Anthony Taylor. And Sean van der Linde coming under a lot of pressure on Nick de Waal. Nick de Waal was quicker than van der Linde in the first heat. Here's a beautiful Minolta Camry of Serge Damso going down through Total, up now towards Nasher. Nick de Waal not as quick, doesn't seem to be quite as quick as he was. Maybe that car's got a bit of damage to it, but certainly in the first heat was quick and was right up front and driving brilliantly. But you see Anthony Taylor now under pressure from Michael Briggs. Michael Briggs mirror hanging off already, and he's certainly going to, you see that left inside back wheel right off the ground as he comes down through Goodyear Sweet, getting closer all the time.
Right, this is another race of tactics. We've had 2 laps, there's 12 in total to go. The only man missing, oh dear, and that's Nick de Waal has lost it there. Not a good place to lose. He's got to turn that motor car. You can see the limited turning circle on that tyre. He's hardly got, he's got about 2 or 3 inches turning. Here's the race cam action replay of Nick de Waal spin at Goodyear corner. It's one of the BMs up ahead, and it looks as though something broke on the back of the Nissan. The gap now is down to Taylor's brought up another 0.3 of a second closer to them. They've got to hurry. If Jabeur wants to stay in front, he'd better move over, because Taylor's arrived to join the party. And the orders Jabeur, McCleary and Taylor, you've seen it. Briggs, a little bit lonely in fourth, and then it's van der Linde and Strobler.
As in the first heat, Roger, you see them actually closing up. We saw towards the end of the first heat, the racing got more exciting as the tyres started wearing, the car started obviously getting more closer, and the drivers driving a lot harder, and you can see it starting to happen once again. And Anthony Taylor, we just hope that these tyres, he's driven this car very hard up until this stage, and certainly hope his tyres don't go off. He's talented young man, 17 years old, his first year in racing, car track racing. He won the Formula GDR South African Championship, and a talented young man. He's right in there now. He's right on the tail of Grant McCleary, and Grant McCleary also trying all he knows to get past the man up front, and that's Dion Joubert. You see him going to the outside. He's now going to try and force Dion to go in a little bit deeper. He puts a lot of pressure on, and hoping that Dion will go out wide so he can pop through the inside. You see him trying to do that. Dion sees him come, but he's getting there. Looks like he's nearly up next to him. Can he get into Haviland first? Down the Caltex mine shaft. He's trying very hard. He's on the better line. He's got through. He squeezed his way through. That's great driving. He set it all up very well indeed. They're coming up the hill towards West Bank. And now Taylor's also in there. Taylor's trying a similar move. Went in a bit wide. He's trying to come out on the inside. Can he get up next to Joubert? He's trying. I don't think it's the right place to do it. Joubert's just got the edge on him as they come through very tight there. Just clips the gravel on the inside, does Taylor, driving it right on the limit. But that was a great move there from Grant McCleary in the Opel Astra. But the Enviro car, the BMW of Joubert, is right there, and also the Taylor in the Roger Taylor Racing BMW. And there's Grobler's off. Grobler's got some problem. He's off the circuit.
Three-quarters of this race are gone. We've got 3 laps or 2.5 laps to go. It's going to be between these three. Anthony Taylor's playing a very, very clever race. He was a Formula GTI champion, Anthony, a good karter as well. And this is a battle going on between the tyres as Taylor goes for it. And one thing that can't have, oh, he's lost it. You don't have a lot of room to recover. That tyre goes right into the mud. That's a great pity there. So that comes the experience in this one. He's still in there. It's Briggs. Oh, no. Who's come past there? It's the Sean van der Briggs has already gone down the road. That's a great pity. It was the end of a super drive there by Taylor. But he's up against the works car. Certainly doesn't want to get beaten, or Joubert doesn't want to have a privateer BM. That's the car that he used to drive. He doesn't want that coming past this latest model car. Here he goes, and the door just closed on him. It has to let go. And once it's gone there, you can't catch those cars. You can see that front wheel only turns a couple of centimeters, rubs under the mud guard, or that one can do better than most. And that's a great pity. Grant McCleary goes round the Rothmans, S's up the West Bank Hill for the last time. Joubert's just on 1.7 seconds behind. Briggs has tapped off a wee bit to 5.7 seconds. Happy with the points. It keeps him ahead in the championship. And this race just reeling off the last few hundred meters to the end of it. A good race in the middle there, Basil, certainly with those. Pity that Taylor there overdid it going into Goodyear corner and threw it away.
Absolutely, I think Dion Joubert would have been in a lot of trouble. The young man was on a roll. He tried very hard. He was attacking, but that's what happens. You've got to be very careful. He just got away from him. He might have just touched the inside of Joubert's car as well. But here comes the man up front, looking for his second win of the day. Really, 2 good drives indeed. He did excellent time practice yesterday. Was pipped by Nick de Waal in the closing seconds. And here he comes. It's Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra coming up. He's got with lights ablaze, and he comes through to win it from Dion Joubert. Next through will be Michael Briggs, and here's young Anthony Taylor.
So a comfortable win there for Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra. That's a double for the day for young Grant. Second place in round 10 goes to Dion Joubert ahead of Mike Briggs, with another great result for Anthony Taylor in 4th place in his privately entered BMW. Bad luck for the Nissans though. Both de Waal and Grobler were non-finishers. It's traditional champagne on the winner's rostrum. Great to see Anthony Taylor, 3rd overall for the day, up on the podium with works drivers Grant McCleary and Dion Joubert.
It's been coming a long time, you know, and it's been Swartkop since we launched the car. 3 months ago, it's been brilliant, and it was hard work. You know, the car's just been excellent. I've actually done the easiest part of the driving. You know, the car's been so well set up. My mechanics and the team have done a great job, and I came out here on Wednesday morning, and I've been quick all week. You know, so it's. As I say, I've really just had to do the easiest part. It's all been done for me by the team.
In all honesty, I was really holding Grant McCleary up, and he outfoxed me a bit, but he deserved to. His car was better at that stage of the race. I think at the end, maybe mine was marginally better, but I think really he had the better car, and he kind of deserved to win, you know. So well done to Grant.
The next race for the Stanek Touring car.